Today, we're talking about what seems to be a right step in the right to repair movement. Apple announced they're going to sell parts and tools to people who want to do self-repair. What does that mean for the person who does home repair? What does it also mean for the independent repair shop? Let's get into it. Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Adrian Reddix, and today we're talking about Apple's announcement of selling parts and tools to independent people. For the longest time, you could always take your device to an Apple store and have them repair your iPhone or any type of other Apple device. The biggest issue with this is not everybody lives close enough to an Apple store to do these repairs. So a couple years ago, they decided to extend this program to independent repair shops. The catch to that was you had to do things the Apple way. So if there was a repair that you couldn't normally do on your own that Apple did not approve, you had to do it the Apple way. Jessa Jones and Rossmann have a really good videos on this, but Jessa Jones specifically has a video about being Apple certified. I'll tell you a little bit more about those two people later. If you didn't live next to an Apple store, or you didn't live next to a independent third-party store that was Apple certified, how would you get your device fixed? So you would take it to a Apple unauthorized repair shop. I used to own a repair shop back in 2014. It was open for 2 years. It was called AR Tech Wireless Repair. We repaired almost any tech. I went from repairing anything from a iPhone 4 all the way to a Rock'em Sock'em robot. Just anything that people would bring in, I'll repair. The biggest issue that independent repair shops face is finding quality parts and finding manuals or schematics for those parts. If you look at the announcement that Apple made a couple days ago, it says the initial phase of the program will focus on the most commonly serviced modules, such as iPhone display, battery, and camera. Now that is true. When I had my own repair shop, those were the three most popular repairs. It also says the ability for additional repairs will be available later next year. What does that mean? Are you going to get buttons, right? Are you going to get boards? Can you get board components? Are they going to release schematics for those board components? So if you don't know what a schematic is, think of a schematic as a blueprint, and it tells you what is on your motherboard and what its function is. So way back in 2014, if you wanted to get a schematic, you had to go to some sketchy websites and give people money and hope they would send you a schematic. I mean, it was a couple times where I sent money off and I didn't get anything. I just had $100 or however much it costs just in the wind. Even though that display, battery, and camera are the most common, you still have some issues where components on the motherboard fail. Just like probably the most common repairs on cars are probably tires, batteries, and I don't know, brakes. But if something goes wrong on the engine, like a hose burst, you should still be able to go to a repair or a parts store to replace that hose, right? So the biggest issue that independent repair shops have is quality. There's only two ways back then you could ensure quality. And even today with independent repair shops, either you had to have a wholesaler that had a really good relationship with a refurbisher or a manufacturer in China, or you had to have that direct relationship yourself with somebody in China, because that's where all the screens that the independent repair shops are made at, right? Unless you did your own refurbishing. Another issue independent repair shops have is availability. Even if you find a good quality screen or good quality parts, are they available? And given the supply constraints that the whole world has been under, availability is also an issue, but it's not because of that. Availability has always been an issue in the independent repair game. There were these Facebook groups that popped up that had a bunch of independent repair people in them, and Jessa Jones and Rossmann were in those groups. Both of those people have helped me out tremendously, and they got me interested in the right to repair movement. And they, along with a lot of other independent repair people, have been fighting to get right to repair to be the law of the land. Because here's the thing: if I own this device, I can do whatever I pleased to it as far as if something breaks, I need to fix it. Just like your car. If your car breaks and fix it, and Ford's like, hey, if you don't bring it to me, well, you can't fix it. It'll be a riot, because I should be able to take it to my local repair shop down the street and have them fix it. You know, if it's something like, oh, it needs a new engine or it needs spark plugs, right? And also people need to have the choice of having good quality parts. Just like I drive a '07 Toyota Camry. So if I wanted to go to Advanced Auto in the States and get if I want to get a spark plug, you had Denso, and Denso is the original equipment manufacturer. So a Denso spark plug would be ideally the most compatible with my car, because that's what it came with. But they also have things like Autolike and other brands that are also compatible with my car, and I don't have to spend as much money. So consumers also need the choice of having good quality parts, so they can make a choice between different tiers of pricing, so they can do a good, better, best choice and what fits in their budget. Me also owning an independent repair shop, let me tell you that Apple is not the only offender. Any tech company you can think of does not sell parts to independent people who want to do their own repair, or independent repair shops that haven't went through their authorized training. Samsung does the same thing. LG does the same thing. All the tech companies you can think of, except for maybe Fairphone. Those are the only ones I can't recall at the moment that doesn't offer parts. So you had to either go scrub eBay for parts, or you had to have a good relationship with a wholesaler to do anything with any of these brands. Apple doesn't really like to be the pioneer when it comes to tech in their devices. But what Apple is the pioneer in is business practices. If you guys remember back in the iPhone 7 days, when they took away the headphone jack, everybody laughed. All the companies were making fun of them. A couple years later, all the big flagship phones start getting the headphone jacks taken out of. Okay, so when Apple also decided to take the power brick out of new phones, people start laughing, but other companies start following them. Same thing with earbuds. They start producing earphones, the AirPods. People started like, oh, this will never catch on. But again, people catch on when Apple makes big business moves and start making some money. People catch on. Will other manufacturers see Apple doing this and them being a leader when it comes to business practices? Will they start coming along and we can start getting quality parts from Samsung or Microsoft or whatever? The whole thing about this is, for years, Apple and other companies have gotten in the way and did everything they could to not have people repair devices that rightfully they own. You own every device you pay for. No matter what the terms of services say, that is your device. You should be able to do whatever you want to do with that device, and nobody tell you what to do with it. If you wanted to modify it and make it shoot sparks, it doesn't matter. It is yours. That leads me to 3 questions about this Apple announcement. 1, what parts are they going to have available? Is it going to be components for motherboard repair? 2, will they release official schematics so people like me can do board repairs and not having to go to sketchy websites to get the schematics to do the repair? And 3, how long are parts going to be available? So let's say we're on iPhone 20 and we still have an iPhone 12 and it's still supported by the current iOS. How long are parts going to be available? Will they be available for 5 years? Or so when will parts stop being available for certain iPhone models? Like, what's the end of life for parts availability from Apple? Also, I have some videos from Louis Rossmann and Jessa Jones below that I think can add to what I'm saying about the right to repair movement and Apple's seemingly step in the right direction. Why do you think Apple is doing this right now? Is it to get out in front of regulations? Because we know we have some regulations coming down from the EU and other countries around the world. Why do you think Apple is doing this? That's it. Thanks for joining me. If you like this type of video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like this type of video, give me a thumbs down. Tell me why you didn't like this type of video. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a good one.